Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about an L1 that I've been looking at for a little bit. We all know that I like Cardano, I like ETH, I like Sol. There's another one there that I'm sure you guys kind of figured out through the thumbnail which one it is, and that is Avalanche. Avalanche currently sits under $15, and at its heyday during the last bull market was over $120. Does this project still have enough in it, and can it even top the last all-time high? That's what I'm gonna look at in this video, and I want to walk you guys through my thinking and what I see. So if that's something that interests you, stay tuned. So let's take a look and see basically what is Avalanche. So Avalanche is an L1, like I said, and is very comparable to Solana, ETH, and Cardano. And basically, the use case for Avalanche is it's going to help with scalability, be as fast or faster than ETH without any L2s, and it's going to be cheaper to transact. We all know how high the ETH gas fees can be. So that's what it solves. That's what it's looking to solve, and that's why it thinks that it can eat some of ETH's lunch. But we've seen a lot of these ETH killers. We've seen Solana and others to follow, but let's see if Avalanche has what it takes to do this. So at its core, Avalanche is built around three interoperable blockchains: the exchange chain, which is the X chain, the contract chain, which is the C chain, and platform chain, which is the P chain. Briefly, the exchange is used for the creation of new digital assets, whereas the C chain is Avalanche's Ethereum virtual machine implementation. And the P chain is used for coordinating validators and creating subnets. And we'll talk about subnets a little later. Two of these blockchains, the P chain and the C chain, are secured by the Snowman consensus, helping to enable high throughput, secure smart contracts, whereas the X chain is secured by DAG optimized Avalanche consensus, a secure and scalable protocol that can achieve transaction finality in seconds. Ava Labs says that by splitting its architecture across these three blockchains, Avalanche can optimize for flexibility, speed, and security without any trade-offs. This makes it a powerful platform for both public and enterprise use cases, since developers have a great deal of flexibility in the types of applications they can build. The platform is centered around AVAX, which is its native utility coin or token for the Avalanche ecosystem, and is used for paying network fees, staking, and providing a basic unit of account between Avalanche subnets. So in a nutshell, that's what Avalanche is about. Let's take a look at the current price and ranking. So what I did was I basically grouped it with a bunch of L1s to see how it compares to its peers, right? And so currently we see Cardano or ETH. Let's start with ETH at number 2, and BNB number 4. We have Cardano number 7, Solana 9, DOT at 13, and then right before top 20 we have Avalanche. Current price of Avalanche is $12.69, and we look at the market cap. It's at 4.3 billion. So compare that to Polkadot, which is at 6.1, Solana 8.5, Cardano 9.9. Then you have the big behemoth ETH, which is at 224. That's crazy, 224 billion. But if we look at the 24-hour, just look and see, is anyone using this chain, right? And if we look at the 24-hour action for Avalanche, it's about $114 million being transacted within the last 24 hours. So it's not that bad, right? And you see Polkadot is conducting more than Polkadot. Polkadot's at 102. Solana's over a billion. Cardano's at 221. ETH, this speaks for itself. It's at 7 billion as far as transactions go. So if we take a deeper look and take a look at some of the circulating supply action and all of that, as you guys know, I like to look at the watch list. This is on CMC, and we see that I'm not the only one taking a look at Avalanche. People are paying attention to it. But if we look at the circulating supply, it's basically at 345 million. Right now, this doesn't list the max supply, but we'll get into that a little later in the video. But that's currently where we sit with Avalanche. Now let's take a look at the TVL for Avalanche. They are heavy in the DeFi space. And if we look at, according to DeFi Llama, the ranking for a total amount as far as TVL goes, Avalanche is currently ranked number 7. So basically, if you look at number 1, it's ETH and a bunch of the ETH L2s and then Tron in there. But as far as the chains go, it's second. It's the second L1 in my book that is as far as ranked TVL. and they have TVL ranking of 685 million. And if we look at the next closest L1, that'll be Solana, and they're at 282. So you see that that is a big difference as far as TVL goes. So that is a big win in my book for Avalanche. Now let's see what's making up most of this TVL as far as projects go. Aave, we know that lending platform, so it's interoperable cross-bridge with the different chains, but they do operate on Avalanche. Benkey and GMX was a derivative exchange, which is pretty big too. And that is, let's see here, GMX has 74 million, Aave 243 million, Trader Joe, which is big on Avalanche, about 62 million, Stargate 54 million, and Platypus Finance, which is their DEX, 28.6, and so on. So DeFi is a big plus for Avalanche. They're on the come up there. Like I said, they're pretty high. They're in the top 10. So that's something to take a look at. Now let's take a look at the dApps, the top dApps on Avalanche. We see, let's see here, Stargate, which we talked about. So DeFi dApp there, and let's take a look. We got just going through these just so you get an idea. Galaxy with social media, that's one of theirs. Let's see here. DeFi Kingdoms is the one I want to highlight. So they're into the game space as well. And if a lot of you know, if you were in the space during the last bull market, DeFi Kingdoms was a hit. People were, playing this game, and it's one of the top games of the crypto space back then. Well, they're now partnered with Avalanche. So that is something to take a look at. And Trader Joe, we talked about before. So they have a plethora of dApps, and I'll show you their ecosystem later on in the video. But I just wanted to give you a quick idea of what they got going on. As far as NFTs go, they have an NFT marketplace called Joe Pegs. From what I can see, their NFTs aren't their strong point, but they are building. So that's what you like to see. They know what their weaknesses are, and they're still trying to launch that. But as you can see, this is some of the art, some of the projects on the marketplace here. Nothing too crazy. Typical NFT type stuff that you normally see. This is interesting here. Small Joe Season 2 kind of reminds me of some of those ETH NFTs, Psychopunks. But that's what we got for NFTs, right? Now, looking at Twitter followers, they have about 961,000 followers, close to 1 million, which is pretty decent. Now, we know Twitter has bots and all of that, but, we've seen other accounts with bots and they don't come up to close to 1 million. So they do have a little following, and I like that. Looking at the Discord, they have about 51,000 members on the Discord. I have been on it, and they are active on that with announcements and all, so that's positive. Looking at their ecosystem, which we talked about a little bit before, you see that it's growing. Interoperability with other chains. They have the NFTs we just talked about. They have Topps NFT. That's growing. And right now NFTs is kind of not as hot as it was, but let's wait till the end of 2024, 2025 and see where they're at with their NFTs. Gaming, I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, but this ecosystem is growing, and that's what you want to see in a bear market. You want to see projects working behind the scenes for the most part and just continuing to work to better the Web3 space. If we look at their wallets, they do have compatibility with different wallets. You have the Core Wallet, Core Mobile, MetaMask, Coinbase, Wallet Connect, and others. So the Core Mobile is basically a new app that they have, and it's going to be on Google Chrome and as well as Android. So you can get that on your phone. It's basically everything Avalanche. You can check your balances, you can make trades, NFT trades, and all of that. And again, that's another project that they worked on, implemented during the bear market. They also have a native wallet, the Avalanche wallet. If you go on their website, if you want to do that, it's very easy to use, very easy to get. And since we're talking about wallets, if you look and see where they're ranked as far as staking goes, they are number 5. So we talked about TVL, they're ranked number 7, right behind, Tron, Ethereum, and a bunch of the L2s, and then they're right behind them. So like I said, this is an L1 that people should probably be paying attention to. As far as staking goes, number 5, they have about 61.9% of AVAX is currently staked. And looks like there's a reward of 7.46% for your staked Avalanche. Helps securing the network, and it's a proof of stake network as well. Don't know if I mentioned that. So they have something called subnets. And subnets basically are independent, and they can manage their tokenomics as they see fit. But here I wanted to go over and just explain that. We talked about the platform chain, contract chain, exchange chain. But basically, a subnet is a sovereign network which defines its own rules regarding its membership and token economics. It is composed of a dynamic subset of Avalanche validators working together to achieve consensus on the state of one or more blockchains. Each blockchain is validated by exactly one subnet, while a subnet can validate many blockchains. And here's an illustration of the different subnets. So you see the primary network up here, subnet 1, subnet 2, and subnet 3. And all of these are communicating with each other for transactions. So here are some of the subnets here. It's all on their website. You can find it, but the different subnets that they have. You have things from, DeFi, going down here. Let's see here. Meld is one that I hear about. DeFi again, DeFi play. Screw Press, which is a blockchain-based publishing. Interesting. Step In, which is kind of like, the big fitness thing. They have that subnet. So it's, it's pretty good the way it is. These subnets kind of reminds me of how Polkadot and Cosmos, how there's a main hub and then you have like separate parachains. You have the Cosmos hub. So it's kind of similar to that. And that's totally different from your ETH and your Solana. So that's something to take a look at. You guys might want to take a look and tell me what you think. So Avalanche, as far as their growth, what's happening during the bear market? Avalanche hits 1 million monthly active users for the first time. And you see this article from the block is dated June 1st, 2023. So this isn't old stuff. And they attribute a lot of that growth to basically the Avalanche network has also seen growth in adoption recently. Circle, the issuer of the second largest stablecoin, USDC, announced recently that its euro-backed stablecoin, EU ROC, is now natively available on Avalanche, marking its first foray into multi-chain expansion. Also this month, the cloud division of Chinese tech behemoth Alibaba built a launchpad for businesses to deploy metaverse spaces on the Avalanche blockchain. If you guys don't know what Alibaba is, it's basically like Amazon for the Chinese people. And we know how many people, the population of Chinese, how much money is out there in China. So that is big. I mean, that is very, very big. And they chose out of all L1s, they went to use that launchpad or launch the launchpad on Avalanche. So that tells you, it speaks volumes about the trust that they have in that project. Also in other news, we have Ava Labs and Amazon's partnerships could expand the pie for blockchain. So what is that about? The Amazon Web Services, they basically don't say it's a partnership, but it's quoted as cooperation. Basically says it should almost immediately make it easy for developers to establish nodes on the Avalanche blockchain, including via one-click node deployment. Eventually, it might make it simpler for everyday businesses, i.e. non-crypto related enterprises, even individuals, to establish their own subnets like smaller private layer 2 blockchains. This is all for adaptation, and Amazon speaks for itself. So you see the relationship. You have Alibaba over in China, and then you have Amazon here in the US. So they're forming very, very strong partnerships with giants, corporate giants. Now, we talked about Core before. This is just a little illustration of what it is. So it's bridge, buy, swap, and send crypto easily with Core. And right now, it's not on iOS. It's only on Google Chrome and Android devices. But I can see it come to iOS soon. Again, they're striving for that ease of use and just adoption. And these are the things you want to see with projects. So as far as interoperability and bridges, they do have some bridges. We have the Avalanche bridge, the multi-chain bridge, and Synapse. I believe that's how you say it. So the Avalanche bridge is basically a bridge between Avalanche and Bitcoin. And we all love Bitcoin, right? And then we have the other one, which is the multi-chain bridge. And that allows for communications, transactions between Polygon, Bitcoin, ETH, Phantom, BNB, so that's good too. And then the last bridge we have here is Synapse. I think that's how you say it. But it helps with a bridging between the different chains as well. Optimism, I see that's in there. ETH. So again, you like that. If you're using ETH, maybe it's too, as far as the fees go, too high. You want to switch over to Avalanche where the fees are a little bit cheaper, and maybe you like more of the dApps on Avalanche. You can do that. So that's why bridges are important. I like that. And also for developers, they can, same type of language, they can move over to different chains if they don't want to be on ETH anymore, don't want to be on Solana anymore, move over to Avalanche. Now, some of the things that I have some concerns about regarding AVAX is the inflation. So we look at the token unlock, we see that 52% is currently unlocked. So, that's something that we got to think about. So the last unlock session was May 27th, if we look at here, according to token unlocks. And at that time, 9.5 million AVAX tokens were released, or unlocked rather. Then we have the next unlock session, was going to be August 25th. And at that time, we have another 9.54 million that will be released or unlocked. So whether these investors or these early people tend to hold on to them, we don't know. But, if there's any type of gain or anything like that with the AVAX price, that's something that may suppress it by people dumping coins. But again, we'll see what happens. If they're smart investors and they see what I'm seeing as far as AVAX go, they probably want to hold on to it until the next bull cycle. But just something to consider. Now to counteract that, they do have burning mechanisms. So thus far, they have about 2.4 million tokens that have been burned. So that's pretty good, and that's basically, it says that it's hard capped, scarce asset that is used to pay for fees. All fees on Avalanche are burned, benefiting everyone in the community. So that's nice. To offset some of this unlocking that's happening, there is some burning mechanism, which will help with price suppression. So also more announcements. Avalanche launches or Ava Labs launches Arcade3 to help game studios enter Web3. So basically, it's connecting traditional game publishers with crypto firms to help bring legacy IP into the fledgling Web3 gaming space. This is going to be big. Web3 gaming, not enough people talk about it in this space, but, right now you have like Call of Duty and all these other games where basically, you can profit from that. And, these companies aren't going to be the ones making money. It could be you or a network of people. They control what's being sold, what costumes to buy, what type of weapons to buy, and if they sell it, they can make profit from it. And you're in control of all of that. And I think that's very, very key. And they're getting to the space. They're getting to it early before, anybody else, before it starts blowing up. I know there's other projects involved in it as well, but you don't hear much about that. So you hear them partnering with Amazon, Alibaba, and now they're doing this as far as Web3 gaming. I mean, they're primed for success, and they're doing all the right things right now in this bear market. And then also, Ava Labs is the latest crypto company to launch an AI chatbot. So Ava GPT uses ChatGPT API to quickly answer Avalanche network queries with immediate access to the source material. Again, everything that's happening, they have their foot in almost everything that's going on. We know that AI space is blowing up right now. ChatGPT took the world by storm. People are scared about, AI taking over jobs and doing all of this. But right now, AI technology is it. And the stock market, your Googles, your Microsoft, all of those are blowing up right now. What's the other one? NVIDIA is blowing up because of the chips that are needed for AI. All of that, anything related to AI is blowing up right now. And we see that they are into that as well. All positive things. So if we look at the historical data, price data for Avalanche, we see that basically they peaked around, let's say here, which was November 22nd, 2021. At that time, it was $134. Current price of Avalanche sits under $13, guys. Peak $134.87. Current price under 13 bucks. Everything that we just covered in this video should tell you that if bull cycle comes in and all these big players, all these institutions come into the crypto space, what do you think is going to happen? Even more so than the last bull cycle. If that price was 134, and then we just talked about everything that Avalanche is doing behind the scenes and making some announcements too, but behind the scenes, I believe that this price can go much higher, much, much higher. So basically in a nutshell, talking about Avalanche, this is one that at first I didn't like it too much because of the inflation and all of that. But looking at everything that they're doing, and they got their foot in almost everything in the crypto space, they're working. There's some adoption. People are coming in. They're increasing users. TVL's pretty high. These are things that we like, man. These are things that you want to see in a project. So Avalanche, in my book, is one that, as far as top L1s, Avalanche is in my top 5. Definitely in the top 5. And guys, I suggest, you take a look at this project and look and see everything that they're doing. And it won't be a bad idea to get a bag of Avalanche. I really like it. So that's all I got for you today. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Have a good time. Stay safe. And until next time, later.